Alright guys, we're putting the Full Spectrum Matte Ambition All Day Shine Free Foundation by CoverGirl to the test. Let's go. Alright, so we're going to start off with the CoverGirl Full Spectrum Matte Ambition Foundation, and this is in the shade Tan Golden 1. I also have the Full Spectrum Concealer, All Day Idol Brightening Concealer. That's what it's called. I have no idea what shade this is in. I don't know. It literally doesn't say it on here. I can check my orders on Ulta really quickly. This is in the shade Medium Tan Golden. Okay, so back to the foundation. Online, it has 20 options online for Ulta's website. That's where I got mine from. Designed to bring out your truest tones, Matte Ambition All Day Foundation from Full Spectrum is transfer resistant, provides all day comfort with oil absorbing powders for a natural matte finish foundation. It's odd that it's called Full Spectrum. It's under the Full Spectrum brand as opposed to CoverGirl. I don't know if that's intentional. I'm sure it's intentional, but I don't know like why. So like I said there before, there are 20 options, 20 shades. Going through these shades on this website, I'm gonna tell you I wasn't that impressed. There's a lot of the undertones, and I saw this in CVS as well, or Walgreens. The undertones are pink. This one and Tan Golden 2 are the only two that might have worked for my skin tone. I feel like this is actually a little darker than it should be, but Tan Golden 2 was warm-ish, was golden, but definitely was darker. There weren't a whole lot of shades, I felt like, in the middle ranges. I don't know, the darker, deeper, medium, deep, dark shades just really weren't doing it for me in my shade range, and I feel like the darker shades weren't accurate, but I did see some darker shades. So there's 20 options, not a lot, but it goes to Deep Cool 3. But like, it's so weird because on the website, these look purple. Like Deep Cool 3 looks purple, Deep Cool 1 looks like mauve, like pink. Deep Golden or Tan Golden, this color comes off as pink in my opinion. But anyway, this is what we have. So I've actually worn this foundation. This isn't a first impression because I wanted to actually try this foundation out and wear it a few days just to kind of give you guys, so I could give like a real tea on how this foundation wears. And just so you know how much it retails for, on Ulta's website, it retails for $11.99. And found the concealer retails for, I think, $8.99. And there are very limited shades in this one as well. I'm sorry, this retails for $11.50. There are only 6 shades in this one available on Ulta's website. Again, the shade colors for me, like the way they came across on the website, just they don't look good. So anyway, let's get started. I've rambled enough. We're going to apply the foundation, and I'm going to tell you a few things that I noticed about this foundation off the bat. I'm going to go ahead and pin my hair back because I don't want my hair getting in the way. All right, so it comes in a pump. It is 1 fluid ounce, comes in the pump. Like I said, I think in the bottle, it looks a little dark, but I think the bottle's true to color. So it's pretty thick. It's a thick foundation. I'm going to apply with a sponge like I normally do. And you can see right away it's a lot darker, but it does. Good thing about this one is that I haven't noticed like any crazy oxidation, so that's good. But in my opinion, this is the only color that really would have matched for me, and I don't think it's a good match. It's decent. I can wear it. Like I wore it all day today at work. It works. It's fine. This is definitely probably more of a summer shade, seeing how it is dead of winter for me. Well, not dead of winter, but seeing how it's winter for me right now, I don't necessarily think this is the best match, but this is the best match for the shade range that I have. So this is what we have to work with. It has a slight perfumey smell. It blends pretty decently. I don't notice anything that's drying down like incredibly fast. The what was it, the CoverGirl Matte Made, that stuff dried down so quickly. Like, I don't know if you guys realize how quickly that stuff dried down. I was like impressed. Well, I was impressed and also kind of scared by how quickly that dried down, because I would go to do my nose and then it would just like wipe off oddly. But I love the shade match on the Matte Made. So see, like right now I think this is coming off as really yellow. But like I said, what you're seeing there and what I'm seeing in person isn't exactly right. Like right now I feel like this matches my shirt, but in real life it doesn't really look like this. So we're gonna keep going with it. So that was roughly 2 pumps. So I'm gonna blend this into the neck. As far as coverage goes, I'm gonna say this is medium. My biggest indication is my freckles here. If they cover, I'm gonna say it's medium. I'm gonna put down another pump in that area to see if it really does cover and if it's buildable. So let's go ahead and do that. So it's buildable, I think. But I still think it's medium. It's definitely not full, in my opinion. And after wearing it for about 8 hours, 8-9 hours, I do not think it is an all-day matte foundation. With my matte foundations, I typically don't have too much oil peeking through on my cheeks. But when I was wearing this all day, I did notice oil peeking through on the cheeks. And there's slight separation around the nose, which is an oily area for me, so it didn't do a horrible job. I've definitely had worse when it comes to oil, but yeah. Okay, so there we go. About 2.5 pumps applied to the face. Now I'm gonna go in with the Full Spectrum concealer. Side note on this concealer, it is probably pretty much the exact same shade as my foundation, so this will not be a highlight. I'm probably gonna go back in with my NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation, or Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer, just to give myself an actual highlight. And if you've seen my review of that concealer, you know I freaking love it. I actually went out and bought another shade, so it's a little bit lighter, so I now have the shade Beige, which is a perfect highlight shade for me. I absolutely love that concealer. I think it is the best drugstore concealer. But like I said, let's try this Full Spectrum concealer and see how this one, so I'm noticing dark circles. I'm gonna take this one you guys can see that, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and place a good amount of that under my eye. And then I'm gonna go ahead and go back in and I'm gonna place a good amount of that concealer under my eye. Now what I'm looking for from this concealer, and just so you guys know, this concealer feels thin to me. It does not feel thick like a full coverage concealer normally does. Shade range, it's yellow. I mean, I think when they said golden, they really meant yellow. Because I think you guys can tell that this is yellow on my skin. And just for comparison of these two, this is the Full Spectrum. I'm just gonna swatch this really quickly. So that's the Full Spectrum. And then this is in Beige, the Can't Stop Won't Stop. And automatically you can see the difference in the thickness of the concealers. This is one swipe of Can't Stop Won't Stop. This is 1 or 2 swipes of the Full Spectrum. You can tell the Full Spectrum is a lot thinner. That being said, I don't think it's a bad color, but it definitely doesn't hit the color ranges that I'm looking for. There are 6 options in the concealer for the Full Spectrum. Tan Golden one was probably my only option, just guessing off of the swatches that I saw online. I did not see these concealers in stores like what I did with the foundations, so I'm not sure. But I'm gonna go ahead and we've let that dry down a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and blend under the eye. I'm still seeing under eyes popping through. And I think you guys can see it too. You can still see that under eyes popping through. I'm gonna say this concealer is very thin. is not full coverage. It probably will get you light to medium coverage. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my Can't Stop, Won't Stop because I wanna kind of balance out this yellowness that is making me look a little sickly. We can work with this, but you can just see, look how thick that is when it goes on. I love this concealer though. Like, this concealer is so nice. If you haven't had a chance to check out that video that I did, please make sure to check it out. I freaking love this concealer. It has been in my rotation since I bought it, and I run out of excuse to buy other shades, so I'm probably gonna go buy a contour shade in this. Okay, so I don't even have to let that dry down that much, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a few seconds, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and go in and blend with my blending sponge. And right away, you can see the difference in how thick this concealer is and how well it covers. So I'm gonna have to say the concealer for full spectrum is a pass if you're looking for a full cover thick concealer. Full spectrum is not your guy or your girl. But the good thing about this is the Can't Stop, Won't Stop is cheaper than the full spectrum. So that's always a win. Plus I'm evening out how dark. I'm just gonna turn down this light a little bit. That way you can kind of see a little bit better. I feel like that's actually a lot better. And I'm gonna go ahead and press in my Sacha Buttercup. This is like an added step that I really don't need to do, but since this foundation does kind of peek through oils a little bit more than my Can't Stop, Won't Stop or my Bare Minerals Pro, which I normally don't set with powder. I normally don't set anything with powder, even my concealer when I'm using Bare Minerals Pro or Can't Stop, Won't Stop, because I don't need to, because this concealer, the Can't Stop, Won't Stop concealer, is that good. But I'm gonna go ahead and go in my Sacha Buttercup and press this into my skin. Sacha Buttercup with the OG formula. Love this setting powder. I will also be doing a review of setting powders. I picked up the Can't Stop, Won't Stop setting powder. I'm going to compare that to my OG favorite, which is Sacha Buttercup, comparing that to the AJ Crimson setting powders. I think it's in Bamboo, I want to say, or Banana, I don't know what it's called. And then I'm going to compare it to my Beauty Bakery powder and my Makeup Revolution. I'm going to do like a battle of the setting powders, I think, because I've either noticed they're too light yellow or they're too dark yellow. Sacha has been coming for the perfect shade of yellow under eye powder, in my opinion, giving me that perfect glow. So there we go, we have those two things set. I'm gonna go ahead and do my contour while I'm sitting here with you guys. All right, I'm going in with my Morphe Highlight and Contour Palette in 8H. Debutante Donut, my favorites. I'm just gonna hit the high points of my cheeks. And I'm gonna go ahead and warm up the perimeter of my face. I don't even need to really do this part anymore because my hair covers it, but we're just gonna do it because why not? And then go back into Debutante Donut and then just drag a little on the chin. Then I'm gonna do a light nose contour with Debutante only, knocking off excess and just dragging along the top part of my nose. You can barely see the lines, and that's the point. I've seen so many nose contours that looked horrible because they don't blend them correctly. And like, I'm not a pro, but like, if you're gonna do a nose contour, please make sure you blend it correctly. Otherwise, you look insane. So then my trick is I just go in with my finger to kind of push the powder into my nose. And kind of, it's like carving it out, but not really. And then I take my sponge and I go back over it. Like so. And that is a nose contour. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I am going to finish this look off camera. I'm actually gonna film another tutorial. Actually, I'm gonna finish, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish this look off camera and I will be back with the final look and I will talk to you guys in a bit. All right, guys, here is the final look with the full spectrum. Let me grab it again. Full Spectrum Matte Ambition All Day Shine Free Foundation by CoverGirl. This again is in Tan Golden 1. And again, I have the concealer that I tried. We saw how that thin that concealer was. So I'm gonna say this one, Real MVP of this look is the concealer, which is the Can't Stop Won't Stop. Check for that review down below. But here's the final look. I actually really like the finish on this foundation. And throughout the day, since I've worn it a few times, the finish stays pretty much consistent with this. Like I said before, I did notice a little cracking here. It was getting a little oily in the T-zone. Nothing that I don't think a little bit of extra powder could fix. Totally not bad. I do only get oily in my T-zone typically, so for me, I'm not an oil slick, especially in the winter. Didn't have an issue with this. It's a matte finish. I think it is very skin-like. I don't know about matte, but I think it's a really good finish. And I just want you to see, I have setting spray on and setting under eye, obviously. But, I mean, in person, I'm not seeing anything that's like, oh my gosh, pores, oh my gosh, this. Everything looks pretty smooth and even. I actually don't hate the foundation. I don't really necessarily like the shade range. I don't think you're gonna find shades that really match you that well. But like I said, you can kind of work with the shade, even though it was a little orange or a little yellow on me like you saw before. But with the concealer and then the look, and it all kind of tied it together, right? So final verdict on this, $11.99. Not a bad price for a drugstore foundation. I really feel like drugstore foundations are stepping up their game. I really wish they would include a little bit different of the shade ranges, because if you check that Ulta website, the shade ranges are odd. Like, just who is wearing these colors, because why? But I'm assuming it's because of the pictures and not the actual shade, although when I saw the shades in person, I was kind of like, that's definitely red and not brown. I digress. I don't think you're gonna find a good amount of shades in the deep dark category. The light to medium category is okay, but they run pink. If you're any type of yellow undertone, olive undertone, you're probably gonna have a problem. The tan goldens are okay, but as you saw, they're a little yellow. So I hope this was helpful for some of you guys. I will also film this look, by the way, and that'll be up. I only used 5 colors and 2 brushes for this look, and I think it's absolutely magnificent. And I'm also debuting a new fan favorite of mine, new Ride or Die mascara. So be on the lookout for that look coming up shortly. I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one.